So back with another video. This time we're doing squats. So we've worked up to our last warm up, which is a 130 single, and then we're going to have a 250 AMRAP after that. So well, this didn't film all the warm ups this time. Like I said, we saw all the warm ups in the last video, so I don't think you want to see them again. If you do, just go and have a look at that video. It's basically the same, just 5 kilos heavier on this last one. Apart from that, all the same. So we've just got light rep on for this one now. I could probably do this weight in sleeves, but just to get used to the reps. Big jump from the last one, which was 175. So we'll see how it feels. Hopefully, move nice and easy. Yeah, lovely. Just thought I'd got on the back for a second there at the top. I just took a little bit of time going down, but moved very nice actually for a light wrap and a big jump. So we'll get 250 on. And then we'll film that in 7 reps. We can get, if we just get double, that's be really happy with that. If we got triple, I'd be over the moon. I think a double's probably like the reasonable thing to aim for. So I'll see you all in a second. So 250 next. So we're going to do full wrap for this one. I'm going to try and get on the video this time so you can see how I like to do my knee reps. So self-wrapping again, hopefully going to get a bit more out than last week. So start on the back, want to come around, and then up. I'm trying to get as much material out as we can. That's basically going to make it as tight as possible. And then once we can fall up, we're going to come across like this, and then we're going to come down. And if you have them, you can use pliers or you could use a lifting strap to come round and push like that. That's already so much better than last week. Oh. Very painful. So again, under the back, round, trying to get as much material out as possible. Very nice. Tight wrap. Don't feel too far away. Lovely. So, take me for a ride. Just get that song we want to listen to. Oh, so like I said, it can be AMRAPs. I'm just to see how many reps we can get. So I'm going to get locked in now. I'll take draft there. Oh, true, that's nice. Nice little bit PB. Oh. So we're actually recording this bit afterwards, so if the volume's much different, I do apologise. Basically, I thought I'd turn the mic on and I hadn't. So what we were just saying here is that we were really happy with the 250 for a double. At the end of last year, 240 was my 1 rep max. So just over a year later to be doubling a 250 squat is really nice. And actually thinking back at the start of 2024 in March, I was over the moon to hit my first ever 230 squat. And now I'm doing it with like a light wrap as a last warm up. That's a really exciting thing to think about, and a really nice achievement. Squats just keep growing and growing and growing. It's really good after they stagnated for quite a long time. So yeah, really happy with how squats are feeling. What we're going on to now is we're doing some 180 kilo pause squats, just a slight pause in the bottom. Naked knees simply for the fact that I couldn't bother to put my knee sleeves on and the fact that I don't really need them. So yeah, so 180 kilos, slight pause in the bottom, 2 sets of 6. Whenever I do my like heavier squat work, when I do my back offs, I like to do 2 sets. So it's kind of like the heavy one is 1 set of the things. If you normally do sets of 3, if you like thinking of it that way, and then the back offs are just the extra sets basically. So yeah, we're just getting set up. One nice thing about doing back off squats as well is when you've had such a heavy weight on your back and you come back to it, it often feels much lighter because the weight has dropped massively. So what have we had drop here? We've had a like 70 kilo drop. So yeah, it does feel a lot lighter as well. So you can often get them moving quite nicely. So as you can see, just getting ourselves set up. One thing that I do find weird is that when I put my knee wraps on, I actually find I can get under the bar nicer, which is kind of the opposite should be true. But here we go. You can see slight pause at the bottom, making sure we're getting good depth on these. Probably getting slightly lower than our wraps, slightly lower than we need to for a comp depth as well. But as you can see, moving really nicely. And again, it's not that long ago that if I was going to do a 180 squat, I'd have to be wrapping my knees and doing all this stuff. But now I'm confident to do it as back offs and for pause as well. So it's important in powerlifting to keep a note of these little progresses that you're making, so it's easy to overlook them. But back to the main video. So up next we've got some block pulls with the chain. So like we were talking about last week, the idea behind this is the lockout is the weakest part of my deadlift. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make that part the hardest part. So we can quick off the floor, we're taking that bit out, running the chain, so it's going to get harder the higher it gets up. There's no way of trying to outrun the chain weight. We were in 200 kilos last time. 2 weeks ago when we did the video, we did 190 to 10 kilos heavier, so getting for 1 to 3 reps, 3 sets. So we'll just see how this goes. Oh yeah, absolute triple on that. So you can see how I'm just getting harder and harder as this goes on. There's 60 kilos of chain in total. You obviously don't get the whole chain off the floor, so probably between 240 and 250. But look out using a stiff bar as well, because what I see a lot of people doing is they'll do block pulls with a deadlift bar, and by the time they've pulled the whip out, the deadlift bar, they're higher than they intend to be, whereas I want to be just below my sticking point. So that's the area I need to work on. With a stiff bar, we're mimicking how the bar should feel when you've got to whip out a bit. So that's why I like to do it with a stiff bar or an Olympic bar. This is. But yeah, 2 more sets of those. Hopefully, they'll go pretty similar. We'll be on to some lighter accessory stuff to finish off with. So finished with those. Did set 3, set 2, set 1. Next we've got some bending knee pull aparts. It's a great way of working the hips without having to do too much loading. A bit like with the hip flex extensions we did last squat video. So with this, just want nice wide position. I'm literally just going to pull your knees apart like this. You really fit it down here and you really fit it in the glutes. Just going to do an reps, as many reps as we can do. Oh. Oh. One of the exercises is much harder than it looks like. But yeah, so we've just got some face hypers and some core, and then we're done for today. So I'll see you all do those exercises. So next up we've got some reverse hypers. If you have access to reverse hyper in your powerlifter or any kind of transport, this is an exercise that you should be putting in your program. Probably at least every other block, I would say, if not more. Invented by Louis Simmons, so you could train with a broken spine. Basically, what happens is the pin springs underneath, as you'll see. As you come up, you're training the lower back, hamstrings, and the glutes, basically posterior chain, without putting any load through them. But as the pin springs back underneath, you're also decompressing your spine as well. So it's really good for building strength, and it's really good for prehab work as well. I like to go nice and heavy. Louis said you should do about 50% of your squat. We've got 240 on here, 140 on here. So, you know, a bit of, hopefully that 280 squat is not far off and probably more. So we're going to give this a go. We're going to do 10 reps. And as you see, as we come through, we're going to try and stop, slight pause, and then come back the other way afterwards. So it is an uncomfortable exercise. So you need to jump up, you want your stomach sat on the pad. And your hips just at the edge. Then we'll just put a little bit of motion in. Then we're going to go as high as you can. A little pause. So we're not letting it fully swing by itself. So we have to build some of the momentum. So yeah, reverse hyper. So if you do have access to one, you really want to be putting it into your training. If you don't have access to one, you can do ones with bands. On like a GHD, it's quite an easy way of doing it. If you'd like to see a video on that, let me know and I can show you how to set one of them up as well. But put a core left and then done for the session. So GHD sit-ups just to finish off with. Sets of 10 to 20, let's see how these feel. Oh, I've not done these in a while, so again, great core exercise if you've got access to GHD. Oh, let's go. First one's a little bit scary. Oh. Whoa, 20. Whoa. God, yeah, that first rep after doing for a while is a bit scary. I feel like you're over the back, but that's it for today's session. I don't know if you can see me in the frame, right in the back of here. That's it for today's session. Really happy with how that went. 250 double, which looked quite nice. Still getting used to the wrap. So like I said in the previous video, if you watched it, it turns out we don't have to do a January comp. We've already qualified for all the comps I want to do from winning Worlds. So I thought because I won Worlds but I came second at Brits, I still have to qualify to do Brits, but it turns out I've qualified all of them, so I'm going to pull out that comp. And that's why we're running this bit. We're going to keep going, but we're going to keep everything as AMRAP. It's not like a proper prep. And then we're going to pull everything back for a bit. I've got single lift Brits in March, full power Brits in July, and then full power Worlds and single lifts in September. And that's it, 4 comps this year, 2 full powers, 2 single lifts, so, you know, I need to get prepared for. Yeah, feeling good, I think, with another block off and coming back round again. you know, if in 2 weeks I can double a 260, so I feel confident opening on it, I feel, you know, pushing towards that 300 kilo squat isn't far away. But that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next one, which will probably be speed upper. Yeah, I'll see you in that one.